Hello, this is Alekius, and welcome back to Warplan Orange on the 30th of July. Picking up right where we left off, we already took care of everything for the turn, so all we have to do is end orders. Ah, here we go. I think this is the heavy cruiser too. I recognize that double deck style. It's a meeting engagement. No one side has an advantage. 2000. And it's the Seattle. Shooting it with AA machine guns. Where the AA machine gun was hit. I didn't read that fast enough. Regardless, I'm not too concerned about it. So that's one more sunk, 3 heavy damage, not although that wasn't because of anything we did. 2 others hit. Seattle took 2 rounds. Oh, the Aurora. YOLOing. And accomplished nothing. I mean, the Tanba Maru sunk, but that was pretty much of its own volition. Is this like every single one of their transports? Troop transports. Our daily bombardment. Alright, last day of July. I think I'll go ahead and disband this task force. Need some dockyard time. Some of the rest of these will as well. So we have the North Carolina. Send them direct. They had a Southwest? Yeah. We have the Missoula. We'll send direct. Then we have Seattle, which will flank. Charlotte, which will flank on the other side. South Dakota, which will sit in advance. And the Aurora, which I'm finally going to stuff back in her replenishment squadron. Or finally get into her replenishment squadron. Despite the fact that she's taking damage now. I'll take care of Midway for now. Oh, the battleship's coming along. Pennsylvania, New Mexico, and New York are fine. Pennsylvania is new to the fully fit for duty. Anything below 5 or less is probably good to go, but I'm in no particular rush. Things are going very well for us. That's all the fuel Rabaul is going to get for a while. Transports are on their way in. The ones in Manila are unloading. Submarines are doing their thing. Good to go. Ooh, one of our subs was attacked. Well, here's one of the battleships. Seeing the stack, I should be able to identify that, but I can't remember it right now. Crossing the T, that's good. Not that it matters that much with so few. South Dakota. 5,000 yards at night. Two ships sunk. 2 more hit. Williams took a round, which that might hurt a little bit. sub evading. Our daily bombardment. There we go, 1st of August. First things first, Batavia had her airfield upgrade, and now she's at capacity. See no reason to continue. Yeah, all the port capacities are about where I expected. Could increase the air capacity, but doesn't feel that important. Minesweepers are making their way back. So are our replenishment ships. Big transport convoy still unloading supplies and fuel, which we're going to need even more fuel. Do we have any tankers? We do. Right. Alfred Clegg and the HM Story. Don't care about the transports as much, but I will take the Trevor and the Stoddart. Actually, and the Shirk. Tankers are valuable. I don't want anything to happen to them. Load fuel. How much fuel do we have? Oh, we have plenty. When they are done loading fuel, I want them to head over to Midway. The rest of these ships can stand by for this time. We may have seen the last of the stubborn invasion fleet. Some might say foolish. And in fact, I think I'm going to grab the South Dakota back. Recombine our battleship force. Set their mission to bombardment instead. No escort bombarding. Ainsworth, very aggressive. Send him into Wake and see what he can do. Depending on how this goes, I may set up an invasion and we might try to retake Wake. It's a bit early. It's a bit aggressive because we don't have a lot of forces available to us. Not yet. I mean, we have some, and most of them are in the Philippines. Speaking of, so we're looking at an armored company, an artillery corps, an infantry division, which that'll be useful, another tank company, and another infantry division. The US division will be the big one, but the 2nd Indian Division will be useful too. So that's just in 2 weeks. And then the month after that, we'll get the 1st US Division, which is also amazing, as well as the 72nd UK and the 3rd Indian. So I think that'll work out well for the next 2 months. We have some forces coming available to us. Nope, more of our submarines being attacked. Another one. And more of our heavy cruisers. Japanese are surprised. Surface combat during the day. They'll have a harder time running away and scattering and running away. This should go relatively well. Ooh, 17,000 yards though. Maybe I should split them up and put the light cruisers in a squadron and the heavy cruisers in a different one. No, we got a fair amount of shots and torpedoes onto them. Oh, there goes another one. And another. Japanese losing troops they can't afford to lose. Our once more daily bombardment. And here we are, 2nd of August. Troops are getting closer. Already loaded up on fuel. Nice. Leave the battleships headed out that way. The cruisers. Missoula was involved, so let's send the Charlotte out. And the Seattle. And we'll leave the Missoula to replenish and enjoy her time in port. That should take care of those. What have we got in Australia? First Australian Division's pretty good. It was the first Australian Cavalry Division. Who else do we have? 2nd Australian Division. Base Forces. 2nd Australian Cavalry Division. 3rd Australian Division. Some brigades. Don't really have like a dedicated I don't have a dedicated artillery branch. Base Forces. Like all the artillery is coastal defense artillery. 8th Brigade. What we got here? Troops transport. Some regular transports. A couple more troop transports. A couple more. And a pair of destroyers. Got some decent New Zealand forces available as well. Question is, Australian cavalry squadrons and rifle squads were building reasonably well, as well as their support equipment. More than the US Marines. The Indians are coming in nicely. Commonwealth is okay. Ooh, Gurkha squads are very minimal. Filipinos are doing well. Dutch are doing alright. French are doing okay. Lots of Chinese rifle squads. Soviets, Canadians are very limited. New Zealand is actually producing a decent amount of equipment. Okay, so we can use the New Zealanders and the Australians. Yeah, New Zealand and rifle, I think we're going to push to use them a little bit in some of these southern islands. Question is, do we just sweep them up east to west? Let's see, we're not going to do truck. Maybe we'll start with Sadawal. It should be an easy, no-brainer, no effort. Form a new task group. We'll make it Brisbane, the ANZAC, and the Torrens. Ermita, Wergo, and Sydney. This will be our convoy escort group. Replenish and set them to go. Where do we have a lot of transports? Probably Brisbane. Take like a week or two. Now how about this? I want to keep the northern defense group. We already pulled the Gull and Sparrow divisions out. But I would like to take some of these other brigades. And we'll get them all to collect up at Brisbane. Yes. If that leaves Australia a little bit exposed, that's fine, we can respond. Cavalry division. I'm not expecting them to get there that quickly. Yeah, that's a heck of a march distance. Nope, not there. Sydney. Because we have the 2nd Australian Division. New Zealanders will leave for the moment. Australia will start. Unless I can kind of gather up something. So it looks like we have 3 horse brigades and 3 infantry brigades in New Zealand. I'm worried about Japanese submarines. But more around the vicinity of Australia direct. Not so much around New Zealand. Steal one of these. Use Kailua. Liberty Glow will leave. Same with Harry Luckenbach. Alright. So you go to Christchurch. You will go to Wellington. No retirement. Stay on station. And we'll go reload. We have... Oh yeah, that's right. We have some late model Sopwiths. They'll get things going a little bit. Still unloading troops. Not unloading troops. They're unloading supplies though. Set you back out here. And our other group is coming down. Alright, I think that kind of settles things. What do we have up here? Infantry. Regiments. Don't need armor. Flying division I want to keep in place. Pearl Harbor is kind of important. We'll have to wait for reinforcements, which has the 2nd U.S. Marine, which we will use. Alright, moving forward. Ooh, there's one of our subs. They know we're out there now. Ah, here we are possibly finishing off the task force. Bit of maneuvering. 6,000 yards. Japanese try to disperse. And Knight wisely decides to pursue. We may only get 1, possibly 2. Yeah, we got 1. But we got shells into a 2nd one, which is good. And the remaining 2 are heavy damage. A lot of movement. All right, 3rd of August. Rains are getting close to Hawaii. We have a second group. Okay, so they split up their task forces. So Missoula will go after the distant one. Then the Seattle appears to be in better shape for ammunition and torpedoes. So with no additional resupply, we'll send her out for the southern group. And then the Charlotte will stay in port and replenish, which will also make her our backstop in case the Japanese go around and try to land troops. Gonna wait on anything further over there. And here's our convoy escort group. The transports are moving out. Form a new group. Transport the Manunda. Set for Brisbane. Retirement. Auto disband. Actually set home port for Brisbane. Got one up by Cairns as well. Katoomba. Retirement allowed. Auto disband. Home port Brisbane. Return to Brisbane. Sydney, I'll leave those ones. Got a couple of transports at Melbourne. Morito Bay. Set for Brisbane. Return. And auto disband. And we'll do the same thing with the Empire Pride. Return. Auto disband. Oh, we have another one in Adelaide. I'll leave that one though. Oh, one Perth as well. That is fine. So we have everyone unloaded here. We do. We're unloading supplies now. We've moved the Philippine Reserve Division in towards the Japanese at Dajangas. Keep them in a defensive stance. We'll get the 1st Indian Division split up. I keep forgetting about that. Do we have the rest of them on this one? No. Where is the rest of the 1st Indian Division? 4th segment's here in Singapore. Please don't be up here. Ground units. 1st Indian Division. Need letters. Eyes. They are... Where are you? Take me there. Ah, in with Gulf Force. They're up here. Okay, that makes that easy. This one moves on over to there. And the armored car, costly armored car. Okay. That one will head over to Jongas. And we don't need a future objective of Bombay. That can be to Jongas. Sparrow Force is pretty much at the end of her supply chain. Let's order a single bombardment and see how it works out. That'll give us a decent estimate of enemy forces. We'll do the same with the Philippine Division. Alright, I think we have all of our arrangements. No, a new group. It's our heavy cruiser too, and these ones are escorted. Cruiser, destroyer, minesweeper. Knight crosses the T. Yoshitami Limited. Patrol gunboat. 7,000 yards, night surface. We'll get to fire with everything. Chase is hurt. Want to identify what this cruiser is to get an idea of what kind of threat we're facing, but with one of our heavy cruisers here, or armored cruisers, I'm really not worried about it overall. But I don't want my ships to be damaged and out of commission for a while. "4,000 yards. Yeah, the destroyer chase is running into some issues. Getting quite a bit of fire from the transports and the patrol gunboats. Patrol gunboat Mogami taking some fire. 6-inch rounds from the Detroit. The fact that the Mogami is a patrol gunboat amuses me greatly, since in World War II the Mogami was a heavy cruiser, armed with 8-inch guns, and fairly modern. This is dinky little patrol gunboat. Chase still combat effective. So is the Detroit. We're down to 2,000 yards. Detroit taking a few more rounds. Our heavy cruiser really hasn't been too involved. Mostly been the Detroit with her 6-inch guns, tearing into the Mogami and now the Hakusan Maru. Both ships with severe damage. They are not giving up on Midway. Yeah, Mogami's taking quite a bit of fire. Not sure if we're late enough, and I'm not familiar with the 6-inch 53. For the Americans, that might be a quick firing gun. And so we're seeing a lot of gunfire pour out of the Detroit. Into the 3 inches. I'm not seeing a lot of return fire anymore. Mostly the Detroit. The Kamakura decided to take a few pot shots to the Detroit. Now the Detroit gets to respond with everything. Mogami goes down. Alright, so the Mogami went down. Peppered the rest of them a bit. The USS Chase took 18 rounds and is on fire, so she's not doing so well. That was Midway. That's why I leave a squadron there to defend Midway directly. Midway doesn't really have dock facilities other than like a pier. We're probably going to have to detach the Chase to head back to Honolulu and hope that she makes it. Oh no, Destroyer might be small enough I can dock her at Midway and hope for the best. Oh, here's the other heavy cruisers. Sinking the last 2 troop transports from the one convoy. The previous invasion attempt. Yeah, they're using that railroad. They're moving pretty fast. Sparrow Division, getting a feel for... Alright, we've got this. We're going to take Zamboanga. And same for Dajungas. Just going to isolate the last Japanese force in the Philippines, southern Philippines, Mindanao. Alright, 4th of September. Marines are getting close to Hawaii. Got all our forces here. So I think we'll send the Seattle out to pursue the enemy task force. Missoula will replenish. And the... ooh, yeah. Chase is not doing well. Form a new group. We'll grab the USS Chase. We'll leave her at the dock. No reaction, retirement allowed. Set their mission to be transport. That should make them relatively passive. Keep their home base Midway. We can dock, but we can't really disband here. There's no slips to stay at permanently. Makes me want to expand the Midway group. We'll replenish the Charlotte as well. They saw a lot of combat. We'll grab... set them up as ASW. We'll grab... 4 destroyers. We use them as spares. Set them up in Midway. That settles all that over there. New Zealand transports are moving around. So are the Australian ones. Australian escorts are moving down at a sedate pace. We don't want to rush. Transports are still unloading supplies, and we don't need these armored cars in Dajungas. Their road between... There is. We'll send them down to Dajungas and then up to this other group. For now, though, these ones can do a definite shock attack. These ones over here at Zabonga, we're going to do a deliberate attack. We do have we have guns, they have one. We have more assault value and more troops, but I don't want to push it. We'll just start with a deliberate attack and see how it works out. And I think stuff elsewhere is looking well. Might send out a couple of the sub patrols. Oh, this one needs some dock time. This one can go here. Keep one spare, and we'll move this one up to there. Then we have kind of a Chinese East Coast defensive line. And with that, I'm out of time for the moment. So I appreciate you staying till the end. New arrival at Midway. Not that it's that big a deal. Please leave a comment below, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Take care.